Hi everyone, welcome this e-video. Myself Kausalya, working as a temporary assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in Government College of Engineering, Tirunelveli. The topic what we are going to learn in reconnaissance, which comes under Unit 3. Now let me introduce about extracting information from DNS. DNS means domain name system. DNS servers are an excellent target for hackers and penetration testers. They usually contain information that is considered highly valuable to attackers. DNS is a core component of both our local networks and the internet. Among other things, DNS is responsible for the process of translating domain names to IP addresses. As humans, it is much easier for us to remember google.com rather than http://74.125.95.105. However, machines prefer the reverse. DNS serves as the middleman to perform this translation process. Next, as penetration testers, it is important to focus on the DNS servers that belong to our target. The reason is simple. In order for DNS means domain name system, to function properly, it needs to be aware of both the IP address and the corresponding domain name of each computer on its network. In terms of reconnaissance, gaining full access to a company's DNS server is like finding a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow, or maybe more accurately, it is like finding a blueprint to the organization. But in this case, the blueprint contains a full listing of internal IP addresses and host names that belong to our target. Remember, one of the key elements of information gathering is to collect IP addresses that belong to the target. Aside from the pot of gold, another reason why picking on DNS is so enjoyable is that in many cases these servers tend to operate on the if it is not broke, don't touch it principle. Oftentimes they choose to ignore the box completely because they do not fully understand it. As a result, batching, updating or changing configurations on the DNS server is often a low priority. Add this to the fact that most DNS servers appear to be very stable. Stable means as long as the administrator is not monkeying with it and you have a recipe for a security disaster. These admins wrongly learn early in their career that the less they mess with their DNS servers, the less trouble it seemed to cause them. As a penetration tester, given the number of misconfigured and unpatched DNS servers that abound today, it is natural to assume that Many current network admins operate under the same principle. If the above statements are true, in even a small number of organizations, we are left with valuable targets that have a high probability of being unbatched or out of date. So, the next logical question becomes, how do we access this virtual pot of gold? Before we can begin the process of examining a DNS server. We need an IP address. Earlier in our reconnaissance, we came across several references to DNS, domain name system. Some of these references were by host names, whereas others were by IP addresses. Using the host command, we can translate any host names into IP addresses and add these IP addresses to the potential target list. Again, you must be sure to double or triple check that the IP you collect is within your authorized scope before continuing. Now that we have a list of DNS IP addresses that belong to, or we can begin the process of interrogating DNS to extract information. Although it is becoming rare to find, one of our first tasks when interacting with a target DNS is to attempt a zone transfer. Recall that DNS servers contain a series of records that match up the IP address and host name for all the devices that the servers are aware of. Many networks deploy multiple DNS servers for the sake of redundancy or load balancing. As a result, DNS servers need a way to share information. This sharing process occurs through the use of a zone transfer. During a zone transfer, also commonly referred to as AXFR, one DNS server will send all the host to IP mappings it contains to another DNS server. This process allows multiple DNS servers to stay in sync. Even if we are unsuccessful in performing a zone transfer, we should still spend time investigating any DNS servers that fall within our authorized scope. Thank you.